The only positive is that you've got lots of assets around you. It's not as though it's a remote location, and but certainly the recovery is a very testing situation for those first responders. Firstly, we've got an aircraft that is involved in an explosion, a mid-air collision. There was an explosion, a fireball at 350 feet above the water, so it plummets down. Then it sinks into freezing cold water. The chances of survival from that are remote, I would say, and indications are at this very minute is that there are few, if any, survivors from this terrible tragedy. My analysis is that the CRJ 700, the American Airlines flight, was complying with air traffic control directions to land at Reagan National Airport on the Potomac River. The Black Hawk helicopter, US Army, had taken off in close proximity, and it had made 6 course changes as it climbed in altitude before it impacted the CRJ at about 350 feet off the Potomac River. What that tells me is that this was a training flight of the helicopter. It apparently did not have its ADSB tracking system turned on. This is the signal that's sent out to air traffic control to track aircraft, and it also is a vital component of another system called TCAS, which is Traffic Collision Avoidance System, fitted to all commercial aircraft and military aircraft, which alerts them to other aircraft on a collision course, but the ADSB must be turned on. It's quite possible that this training flight of this Black Hawk helicopter was a covert style training mission of going black, if you like, and not having any electronic tracking turned on, and a tragic error of doing this around an airport, an active airport. I mean, if they're going to do that sort of training, it should be done well away from an active airport like Reagan National. President Trump, in my view, is right when it comes to the helicopter crew. I think we will find it was their fault. But if they were not, as we are told, broadcasting their ADSB signal, then air traffic control wouldn't pick them up either. Now, yes, it was a clear night, but it's very, very difficult to see a relatively small helicopter at night time. And don't forget, they're flying at a low altitude, a couple of 100 feet for most of that prior to the impact. And there are so many lights all around. You're in this airport is in the middle of Washington, D.C. It's not in a black out in a remote area where a single light would be very visible. There's lights everywhere. And having flown many times in the cockpit of aircraft, at night time, it is exceedingly difficult to pick up another aircraft at night. And in fact, even during the day, it's difficult to pick up another aircraft visually, which is why that TCAS system is so critically important to aviation today. I mean, if we didn't have TCAS today, with the dramatically increased traffic, we'd be having collisions every second or third day. Of course, Washington, D.C. is the headquarters of the National Transportation Safety Board of the United States, NTSB. And so the crash investigators, the whole team are right there. I would expect that they will have the black boxes recovered within 24 hours, if not earlier. They will have them read and analysed within a matter of days. The NTSB has to report within 30 days of their preliminary investigation. Mind you, that preliminary report can be as simple as saying 2 aeroplanes collided and so many people were fatalities. but I expect a lot more, and I believe that we'll get a lot of detail within the next 7 to 14 days about what happened.